Hey everybody, it's Missy again with the Hip Kit Club, and I have another layout for you today. This is my second layout for this month using the July Hip Kits, and my focus for today is crazy about text. So I'm going to be scrapbooking this black and white picture of me and several of my crazy Looney Tune friends who always take my body pump class every week, and we just had to pose for a goofy picture one day. So I have a title that I'm going to make the focal point of my layout, and I found it on Pinterest. And what I did was I found a font that I really liked, and I created the text or the quote in my Silhouette software, and then I arranged it on the cutting mat, and I went through all the pattern papers in the main kit and the paper kit and just cut little 2x2 squares of parts of each paper that I liked. And my idea is to have lots of different colors and patterns on the quote. And so here's sort of what I'm going to go for. It says, friendship is about finding people who are your kind of crazy. And the picture is crazy. Everyone's making a goofy face, and it was just a funny moment. We were laughing and, just being silly. And so I love this quote. It's perfect, and it's definitely a lot of text. And so I'm going to have my picture over on the right because we're all looking toward the left, and I want it to be like they're looking across the page. Okay, so I moved all the letters, and what I'm going to do is some mixed media on this white paper. And this is some of the white dilutions, and this is from my stash. And I'm just using a card and smudging a little bit down on the background. I just wanted to try something different. I've done this a few times before instead of using gesso. I didn't really notice a huge difference. I hadn't used this dilutions paint before. It's very thin, and a little goes a long way. And it didn't really warp my paper a lot. As you can see, the ends are just slightly curled, but I really like the end result. So now this color, the vibrant turquoise, this comes in our color kit this month, and I barely dabbed my brush into the lid, and you can see how much paint is right there. So you don't need a lot of paint. I swear, you will never run out of one canister of this paint because just a tiny bit is really a lot. So I'm just going to kind of add some color to my background here by doing the packaging technique. I think I do that on every single layout, but it just works for me. I love how it looks. It's very easy, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to start with the shimmers, or not the shimmers, the dilutions paint, and now I'm going to come in with several of the shimmers from various kits from the previous months. That was the Jenny Bee Blue Vibes, and I'm just going to add different colors. I want this coming behind the picture. Now I'm going to come in with the yellow, and this is the No Yoking and its colorings, and that was in a few kits ago. And it's okay if some of this blends together, but I'm trying to keep the colors a little bit separate, especially colors that won't blend very well. And the yellow's okay because it's just going to turn a greenish color if it blends with the blue. This is the Mandarin Mai Tai, and it's a light orange color. Sometimes it looks like it's yellow. It just depends on what colors it's up against and what your background color is. This is the pink stilettos, and it's very, very pretty pink. And I just want a little bit of pink added in there. And it totally changes the look of it when you add your picture back on top of it. I wanted to jazz up the background because, it's white, and I needed something behind all of those letters. But I didn't want to go too overboard because the title is really big and long, and it's got all kinds of colors in it. However, things happen, and this layout turns out a lot busier than I had originally anticipated, but I like how it turns out. It's another example of what's in your mind turning into something totally different as you go. And I'm sorry if my lighting keeps going bright and dim. It was storming seriously crazy today, and so it was very dark outside, and lighting is weird inside when it's storming out, so hopefully it's okay, but if it looks weird, that's why. So I decided I need a little something in the lower left corner, so I'm coming in with all the colors again, and I'm going to do a little patch of the mixed media work over there on the left. And I definitely didn't want to use any of the pattern papers as a background with this big long title because it definitely would have gotten lost, and it would have been very, very busy. So I'm just going to keep jazzing up this background here and get it like I like it. Okay, so it dried, and then I decided, hey, let's do a little bit more. I did some stitching, and this is with a turquoise blue thread. I just did some random grid stitching just to give it some more interest. And like I said, a lot of this is going to be covered up and just peeking out from behind the picture. But I just wanted to do something different. I hadn't done any stitching like this in a while, and so it was just one of those spur of the moment ideas, and so I did it. And I like how it looks. Now it's going to take me some time. There's a lot of letters going on here, and so I'm going to take some time and arrange all the letters just like I want them. And some of them stick to my finger. You know how when you pull something off of your sticky mat, sometimes the back of it is still sticky. And so things kept sticking to my fingers and flipping over, and thank goodness I didn't lose any letters. Okay, so nothing is glued down yet, but that's kind of how I want it to look. And now I'm going to work on some layers behind my picture. I want a little bit more color coming out, and I want it to be kind of wonky and crooked. I'm going to use some leftover paper, which is one of the Kim Watson papers. I actually used it last week when I cut out those hearts. It's that really pretty watercolor, I think it's called art class paper. And then I used a Project Life card that I just cut in half because I love the colors of it. So I'm going to use the orange part up top and the pink part down the bottom. And I think I want to use that black and white chevron frame. I don't wind up using it, but I committed a crime there by cutting it in half and still not using it. But that's okay because I can glue it back together if I really want to use it over a photo. So to further along the idea of crazy about text, I'm going to use that big chipboard piece over on the right that says it doesn't really get any better than this. I'm going to come in with that later. But for now, I decide I better get these letters glued down, or some of them are going to go missing, and it's just going to make me pitch a fit if I don't get it all organized. So everything is glued down now as far as the letters go. Then I decide I need something interesting going on behind the picture. So I'm going to take that leftover paper from last week. I just talked about that with the hearts that I cut out. And I'm going to use the outline of the hearts. I'm just fussy cutting around each one of these and making big open hearts. And I just wanted something interesting coming from behind the photo. And so I already had those hearts kind of done. So I thought I will just cut some of them out. And again, they're kind of getting caught on each other as I'm trying to layer them, and it takes me a while to get them like I want them. But I like how this looks. It's very, yeah. See, every time I touch it, something moves and drives me crazy. So I need to get that glued down quickly. I like how that looks. Oh, there I go again, hitting it, and it keeps moving. I'm just going to play around and see. I didn't want to cover up any of the letters, but I wanted, yeah, see, yeah, okay. Does this ever happen to you where you're trying to get everything just so, and then it accidentally moves? And you're like, stop moving, just be still. I keep playing with that frame. Then I have the bright idea to use this card. I don't know why I did that. It just, yeah, no, that doesn't stay there. It moves. I do use that. And here I'm just playing around. I want to use that acrylic Friends piece, but I don't use it. It starts to get too busy for me. I know I love busy layouts, but I felt like it was just getting too busy for me. And I wanted the focus to be the photo and the title. And then I just kind of kept going and going and going over on the right with all these embellishments. And I thought, okay, I need to tone this down just a little bit. But I am going to keep those hearts. Here I go. I'm going to glue each of them down just a little bit so they stop moving around. And I was proud of myself for using up the rest of that beautiful watercolor paper. I've made it work now on 2 layouts, and I still have the spare from the paper kit that I have not cut into. So I still have another one. So that makes me happy because it's probably my favorite paper in the kits this month. Okay, so I want to play more on the black from the black and white picture, and a couple of the letters in the title are black and white. So I wanted to add a little bit more black, so I used some thread there. And again, since the thread is so dark against the white, it's another busy element. And like I said before, I had not intended for this to be so busy. And you may not think it's busy. You may think it's too busy. Just wait till the end and then you can see for yourself. Now, I really liked that big chipboard saying, but since the background's white and it's basically on a white part of the layout, it was just too much white. So I cut a couple of scrap pieces of paper there to layer underneath it to kind of break it up and make it stand out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to come in with some of the puffy stickers. And these are the Kim Watson exclusives. And I want to use them, but I want to hoard them because they are awesome. I'm going to use a couple of her exclusive die cuts as well. I love all the different colors. That's what I love about this layout, really, is there's, you know, every color is in here pretty much. So all of these embellishments are going to coordinate. I don't have to worry about a certain color scheme. So then I decided that I needed the title to pop a little more. So I take my Sharpie and just kind of lightly and not too hard. I don't want to make it really, really dark, but just give it a light trace around each letter. And I like how that looks. It makes it a little more crisp and you can see it a little bit more. And I'm going to come in with a couple more things. I'm going to use that little Becky Higgins chipboard piece that says yay, and then add a little bit of blue thread over to the right. And yeah, it stuck to my finger. It kept coming out. But I felt like I needed a little bit of blue over there on the right. And I love the ephemera this month because there are so many little tiny words and phrases that can pretty much go with anything, like love this, hashtag so fun, time with friends, things like that. Added my journaling, and then I'm going to add a couple more of these little, they look like enamel dots, but they are puffy dots underneath there for a little extra pop of color. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I do add the date, and I'm going to come in with some black shimmers, and this is called Night Moves. It's not in any of our kits. I just had this in my stash. And that is going to wrap up the layout. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's not too busy for you. I like how it turned out. I love the colors. I just kind of get carried away sometimes with embellishing, and with that title being so big, you know, it just happens. But I definitely think it meets the criteria of crazy about text. I love making big titles, and if you haven't ever tried it, I think it's fun. It kind of makes your design come together a lot quicker. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or techniques or anything at all. I will be more than happy to answer you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you have a great day.